Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. It's new helmet day, new cask, 190 grams for size small. Yes, I do have a small head. It's not the only thing that's small. I'm talking about my calves. Heading towards the Black Mountains. Got a 12-minute critical power test to do today. Whoop-de-doo. So we've got done with the 3-minute test, the 5-minute test. We'll catch you up on those. 3-minute was 479 watts, 5 minutes was 451 watts. So I asked on Instagram, what do you think 12-minute is going to be? Some of you are saying over 400 watts, some of you are saying 420, which would be close to an all-time best, I have to admit. Now, bearing in mind I'm pretty close to an all-time best of the others, I'm not that confident that I get there for a 12-minute, but we'll see. I've chosen the Black Mountains today because it's actually 6 kilometers at 6%. Perfect terrain to practice this effort on. So unlike the other two efforts, this one requires a bit of patience, a bit of pacing, but also don't be afraid to go too hard at the beginning. Like, you're obviously trying to find the maximal power you can sustain for the 12 minutes. Obviously, unlike the 3 and 5, you don't just start at like 500 watts or 600 watts or whatever the watts are and just try and sort of die off at the end. On those short efforts you might see, you know, a 50-75 watt drop off, which shows that you've depleted yourself. With a long effort like this, you do want to start hard, but you almost want to create like almost like a U shape, like, but it's a very delicate one. So you start hard, you spike the power for a minute or two, and then you settle and you bring it down. Everything becomes really hard, and then you try and ramp it up in the last minute or two. Like that kind of U shape would be, like, in my book, really good pacing, at least to finish absolutely maximally. The biggest question I actually get asked is, how do I know where to ride at, where to start at? And that's very much like quite a personal answer, and it depends. But for me, if I use my other numbers, especially the 5-minute number, because I know I'm riding for, you know, a little bit over double the time. What's the best ever 12-minute power I've ever done? So for me, it's like 420, 430. Now, to be conservative, I could say I don't think I'm at 420, 430 watt pace today. So take like 20 watts off of that. Just give yourself some sort of benchmark number. And for me, 20 watts off of that would be about 400. And then you have some sort of ballpark figure to work with. You've kind of got to feel it out. You know, like I said, it's not like the other efforts where you can kind of just grit your teeth and get through it. You've really got to think about what you're doing before you dive right into this one. Alright, my competitive juices are flowing now. We're like less than 10 minutes away from the mountain. And well, fun fact actually, my KOM up this climb is 12 minutes, give or take, so I'm probably not in that shape. So the results Drum roll please. 394 watts. But as high as that is, relatively speaking, my other effort when 3 and 5 minutes were better, which is a good thing. That's what we're trying to focus on over the coming weeks. I want the 3 and 5 minute to be our dominant strength moving forward. So that was good. It's kind of what I thought I would do, near 400-ish, and you were all pretty close with your guesses. Anyway, around that 400 reason was a pretty good guess, so you all know what you're doing. So we didn't actually make it to the top because there's a howling headwind, which is actually quite good. Like, if we have a headwind, it means it's a little bit easier to get our power out. I'm about to hit one of my most favourite descents in the area. I know I say that a lot, don't I? I say that a lot, but this really is. Wales, man, typical Wales. Yeah, I grew up around animals and sheep in particular because I used to help out my dad on the farms. They're really unpredictable. You never know what you're gonna get with sheep. So I got myself a little homemade energy bar today. Well, I've got a couple actually. They're only made of 3 ingredients, well 2 really. Dates, oats and chia seeds, and they taste great actually. There's just a heck of a lot of dates in it, and I haven't got any toilet roll with me. It's super like solid, and yeah, does the job. Like, tastes great. It's really small and there's obviously a ton of energy in there, so what's not to like? So now that we've got 3 data points to work with, we can plug them into a bit of an algorithm that sort of works out what our critical power is for various different time lengths. Go a long way in helping us pinpoint what sort of power we can achieve for certain durations. So it can be really helpful, really handy, especially when it comes to hill climbing. And I use a spreadsheet from a good friend and also hill climbing rival, Tom Bell, through his coaching company called High North Performance. When I put in my data that I just collected, it gives me a bunch of numbers which I can use going forward. And critically, helps give me some direction for my upcoming training phase. So, with all of my efforts done, that is technically my testing week over. And it's important to know as well that, you know, it's not really, I'm not really trying to find my FTP. You know, that's not, you can't really compare, you know, the critical power test almost to the FTP test, because, you know, it doesn't really, I mean it does, but it doesn't, there's different reasons why you do different tests. But it's time to have a bit of a chill out, top up this ride with a bit of endurance, and try and find a cafe. That's the goal for the rest of this ride.